Hello and welcome back to An Old Man Watches, and today I'm going to be talking about Pixar's breakthrough 1995 hit and pretty much the progenitor of today's CGI animation industry, Toy Story. And the premise behind Toy Story is simple enough and likely one with which many of us can identify. The idea is that a child's toys have their own secret lives that they live whenever their owner is out of the room. In this case, the toys belong to a young boy named Andy, and the prized place in Andy's significant collection of toys goes to Sheriff Woody, a cowboy doll who confidently expects to always remain the law in this here toy box. But Woody's life is about to be turned upside down by Andy's latest birthday gift, a Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger doll. Buzz quickly usurps top spot in Andy's affection, and his genial nature also wins over most of the other toys. Woody, needless to say, does not appreciate the competition, and he is also openly scornful of Buzz's lack of self-awareness. Buzz has no idea that he's a toy at all, even though, like all the other toys, he obeys the toy rules and doesn't move when Andy's around. Sheriff Woody quickly decides this toy box isn't big enough for the both of them. But Woody's plan to retake top spot in Andy's affections has unforeseen circumstances and consequences, putting both him and Buzz in grave danger from the toy-abusing kid next door. So Toy Story was a critical and commercial smash hit and founded a franchise that has grown to include, as I speak, 3 sequels, a spin-off Buzz Lightyear movie, spin-off Buzz Lightyear TV show, comic books, video games, and of course a plethora of actual toys. The films alone have grossed over $3 billion, without even considering the revenue from all the other shows and merchandise. By any measure, it's been a huge success. So it must be a great movie, right? Well, almost. On the whole, it's genuinely very good. The characters are likeable, the gags are funny and frequent, and a lot of clever thought has gone into the film. But it does have one fairly serious flaw that dims my enthusiasm for it just a little bit. But still, let's get started with the positives, shall we? So as I've already noted, the idea is that toys might come alive when we aren't around to see them is probably an idea that resonates with a lot of us. It's the kind of fantasy we would have had as children. Heck, even as adults, we tend to ascribe personality and life to inanimate objects such as our computers and vehicles, phones, all that kind of stuff. And having chosen a starting premise with which many of us can identify, Pixar have developed a plotline that involves more themes that will presumably resonate with many viewers. None of us have been, someone's toy sheriff doll, but most of us can identify with the fear of being supplanted or replaced in a relationship, whether that relationship be a platonic friendship or a romantic relationship. We may never have been in Woody's miniature plastic boots as the former number one in the toy box, but most of us can probably identify with his distress at losing his place as Andy's favourite. Even as we recognise how wrong his actions are, we understand the impulses behind them. Toy Story may be fantastical in content, but it taps into very real emotional resonance, and that is smartly done. It makes the story feel much more real. It also makes a lot of solid visual design choices. First, Toy Story licensed a number of real-world toys, such as Mr. Potato Head, to help Andy's toy collection be recognisable to viewers. That was a smart decision, but just as smartly, it anchored its storyline around fictional toys the Pixar team had designed. This had a number of positive outcomes, both creatively and financially. And, let's not forget, movie making is a business. First, it allowed these characters to have exactly the physical characteristics the movie required for its plots and gags. Second, it meant Pixar owned the likenesses for merchandising, which has been a massive financial boon to first them and now Disney. And third, it meant that they needed to ensure the characters worked as toys. They then leveraged this for the film's plot. One of the successes of Toy Story script is that Buzz not just is a space ranger, and Woody is not just an Old West sheriff. The other strength is that they're also recognisably toys, and they interact with the world in ways that a toy believably would if it was capable of acting on its own, which of course it's not. Spoiler. Buzz thinks he has a jetpack and fly. He can't. But Pixar have spent time thinking about how this part of the toy would be designed and how it might turn out if he tried to use it, which adds some depth to the film. On a more practical level, the decision to base a script around toys was a technically clever one. Computer animation was a lot less fluid and organic in 1995 than it is today, and Pixar's decision to focus on characters who had an excuse for looking a bit plasticky or having slightly odd movement let them turn this potential weakness into a strength. It's a clever idea all round. But then there's the thing that bugs me. For all of its relatable characters, easily grasped themes, funny gags, and slick design, Toy Story's script has one very big flaw. The film's grand finale only works because the movie breaks its own rules. It's been established as a fundamental law that the film has, enforced throughout, that toys cannot move when humans are around. And for the resolution of the film, it blithely tosses that out of the window without any attempt to justify doing so. And doing that makes every prior scene that has relied on the law, which is, a lot of them, completely nonsensical. Now, it's not the first movie to do this. I mean, at the end of the original Karate Kid, Daniel wins the tournament with a move that the film has explicitly established is not allowed. And the movie just hopes you won't care because the bully got his face smashed in, like you've been wanting him to do for the last hour and a half. It relies on the emotion of the moment to carry you past the fact that it's cheating narratively. And to give credit where credit is due, the first time I Toy Story, I didn't really get tripped up by this. I just kind of went along with it. Because the film does a really good job of making you care about the characters and wanting them to succeed. So you'll overlook that the script cheats to let them win, right? Well, maybe. The first time you see the movie, probably. But on the rewatch, if you're anything like me, it'll niggle at the back of your mind, making you wonder, why couldn't they work just a little bit harder on the script to get the right outcome without breaking their own rules? Surely that was possible. Now, Toy Story is still good, even with this flaw, but for me, the fact that it has that drawback means that it falls just a little bit short of great. Next time, we visit the early noughties for a TV show that promised to take British horror out of the museum and into the city. Urban Gothic. But that's next time. Until then, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it.